I'll tell you the truth, I really hate New Year's resolutions. Every time January 1st comes around, I feel so yucky inside because everything I've been eating for the last month is not healthy. And I know that we're about to have this social pressure to have to create new resolutions where we become fabulous, amazing people. And everybody knows you're not going to keep them. So it seems like such a silly thing. I don't like doing it. I don't like somebody else deciding when I set my goals. I don't like knowing that I'm going to fail at these goals. I don't want to try if it's not going to work, you know. And now I know. There are a lot of you out there who do really great things with your New Year's resolutions. I've heard some of the things that you guys do, and it is life-altering, truly amazing. But I just don't like doing it. And so I have come up with something that I do instead because it's much more hopeful and it just works for me better. So if you like the way that you're doing New Year's resolutions, go for it. But if you want to try something new, check this out. So the first thing that I do is reflect and rejoice. And what this means, especially in homeschool, is just looking over the past 4 months and saying, what did I do right? What do my kids do now that they couldn't do before? Where have we grown? Where have we improved? How have our relationships improved? How have our skills improved? How do we view the world in a better way? How are we just better people? And this is really less about what we've accomplished, you know, what we can write down and say, yay for us, now we do these new things. And it's more about what we've become. Are we more patient? Are we better at handling life's difficulties? These things really matter. These are the things that count, really. And so the first thing I do is I just reflect over it and say, what went right? And then we just rejoice. I just think, that's awesome. And I'm so grateful. That was so wonderful that God gave me all these blessings, that things have worked out, that people are in a better place than they were when we started, and we're getting better. Things are improving. I'm just so grateful for all the things that have gone really well. And I know that there are all sorts of things that don't go well, and I'm not saying that we should pretend. I'm just saying that even when things are really bad, some things are good. And so before I start on trying to improve anything, I just want to take a second and say, what is good? What worked? What was a success this year? And just really rejoice in that moment. And the next thing I do is I cast a vision. I really want to look forward and say, what do I really want to accomplish here? What do I want to do differently? Not really the nuts and bolts. I'm not really interested in saying, now what specific goals am I going to set so that I can be different? I just want to say, what is my overarching vision for what's going on here? And one time I did this actually at the beginning of the school year, but it would work at the beginning of January, where I set up a row of chairs, and the backs of the chairs are all to each other. And then we draped a blanket over the top of them. And I would have my kids, so it formed like this tunnel, and I would have my kids come over here and they would say what they are now. So they would say, I'm a boy, and then they would run through the tunnel to the other side and they would say, what are you going to become? I'm going to become a man. And so then they would have all sorts of things on this side that they would go through the tunnel and become. Right now, what are you? I'm curious. And then go through, what are you going to be? I'm going to be an inventor. And all these little embryonic things that they have right now that they just haven't developed yet. Once they go through this tunnel, what are they going to develop and become through this? And this was just kind of a physical way to vision cast and say, where are we going? What is our goal? And that is a really important part of January for me, is to say, what are we trying to accomplish here? What great thing are we doing that has really nothing to do with losing weight, you know, or some other small goal or big goal that's just going to make me feel bad about myself. I want to know, what am I aiming for? How am I going to become a better person? And how am I going to help my children become better people as well? And then really communicate that vision to your kids in some way that is meaningful, so that they can say, oh, I get it. So when we're doing these workbooks or whatever it is that we're doing, it's not just trying to say, yay, I did it this day. I'm actually becoming somebody who can think mathematically, to really see the vision of what it is that we're trying to do and not just get all bogged down in the little things. So I think that is what January should be about, is about seeing the big picture and what's what we're becoming more than just the nitty-gritty details. And then it's a great idea to have some nitty-gritty details, because a vision is great, but if you don't have a way to accomplish that vision, it won't work. But I'm just saying, I think it's really effective for January to be that moment where you remind yourself where you've been, how far you've come, and all the great things that you're still working toward, because you are doing a great job. I am so impressed with the power and the influence that mothers wield just by staying in their homes when they are available and being with their kids, by eating meals together, reading stories together, hugging, being in that moment with your child. That's powerful stuff. And taking this moment in January to stop and say, I'm doing that. And that matters. And if nobody's going to recognize it, it still matters. It's still something that is making a huge difference in the world, and it is certainly making a huge difference in your family and in the individuals that you care about most. So take that moment, really reflect, rejoice, and see where you're going with it next, because you have great things to give and wonderful things to become. I hope that helps. I hope that you have a wonderful New Year's Day. However you approach it, they're all good. It works. And I will catch you on the next one. Thanks.